Now, everyone seems to go on about dmenu, right? So if you use like a minimalist desktop environment, or let's say a minimalist window manager, quite often people will talk about things like dmenu, right? Dmenu is just really a fuzzy finder selector tool, but with like a sort of graphical user interface. And it's primarily for, let's say, X11, okay? There is a fork for Wayland and so forth, but in fact, you don't need dmenu for pretty much anything. As long as you've got your terminal, whether it's in the desktop environment or the TTY, FZF will do pretty much everything you need to do, and it's pretty easy to use and set up. So what I was going to do today is give a useful example of FCF, but primarily as well, you will see dmenu used a lot for selecting a program that's installed, let's say. This is like the default dmenu thing in, let's say, i3, the window manager. But in fact, I prefer FCF, FZF, and that's what we're going to look at today. So let's have a look at the screen. And I'm going to make a little, like a one-liner shell script that will not even a script, a one-liner that will pick your program that you want to open from the terminal, and it takes seconds to make. You do not need dmenu even as a package. Okay, so FCF and your built-in stuff. It's pretty easy. So let's get into this. So this is Ubuntu, the latest Ubuntu. So I will show you how to do it in, say, Arch Linux with the package manager. So this is going to depend on what packages are installed. So first of all, let's actually have a look at installed packages. So if I do apt list, okay, and apt list will list out just about every package going, okay. So one of the things you need to realize, you need to install FCF. You should have FCF installed anyway. That's really all you need. All the core utilities will be installed. So what you do is you do your sudo apt install FCF, and that's going to install that. Obviously it's already installed on this system. That's really all you need. And in the meantime, let's have a look as well for what packages are actually installed so you can run them. So if you do apt list and installed, I think it's like that. Yeah, there you go. So there's all your installed packages, right? So you can scroll down. I'm just going to hit Q to come out of that. So that's how you get your list of installed packages. Now we need to whittle it down to the package name, right? Because when you start up a package, you're just starting up the name of the installed package. So if we look again at apt list installed, you'll see that we have the actual app or the package named in green. Okay, so we need to set a delimiter to filter that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to run that again, okay, and then I'm going to put a pipe character. So that's going to take that output, and then I'm going to run the cut command -d for delimiter. So we need to set the delimiter, and we need quotations, and delimiter is just a forward slash, let's say, and then we want the first field. The first field is the name of the program. Okay, now you will get this little warning with apt. It says it's not friendly with the command line interface. I would say don't worry about that. It's fine. You won't have this problem with Pac-Man anyway, and it's not going to matter. So as you can see, we've got a whole list of programs there. So if I put that into less as well, assuming less is installed, and I can scroll through. So we've got all these different programs. Okay, these are all installed. Okay, so if I now up arrow and I take out less, and let's say I pipe it into FZF. Okay, now you'll see FZF, the fuzzy finder, will give you a fuzzy finding list. So if I start typing htop, for example, it will output htop. Okay, just the name of the program. It won't run the program. Okay, so we need to do a few more things, not much, but we need to do a few more things. So if I again I leave FCF like that. So we need to have, let's say, let's put this into a subshell and a variable, okay? So if I go back, I haven't got Vim keys set up on this, which is a shame. And I put in, let's put in a variable name. So I'm just going to call it pick, okay? And I'm going to put equals and then a $, open quote, open bracket, okay? And then I'm going to close that bracket, okay? So if I hit enter, it does the same thing, but it's in a subshell. So if I do FCF, okay, oh, don't know why I did it FCF, let's do it, run it again. Let's choose htop. It's put that into pick, okay? So if I do now, let's do quotations for safety. Oh, wrong one. Let's do quotations, $, and I do pick, okay? That output has been saved into that variable. So if I type that, now it runs htop, right? Because it's running htop. Htop is the command, so it's the same as typing htop. Hope that makes sense. So now we need to put this little bit of script, okay, into a, we can put it into an alias, but one thing we need to do, so what you'd normally do is you put, let's say, the double ampersand, and this is just to say, if that's successful, then do this, okay? So it's like an if-then statement, but for your shell. So we're going to do and then let's run. So like before, we want to then run the actual variable and therefore run the command, okay? So let's put it in quotations, keep using the wrong key, American keyboard settings, and put that in pick. Okay, wrong keyboard settings, okay. And then that should do that. So again, if I type htop, as you can see, it just runs htop straight away. So I can type q and it comes out of that. So now we want to put this in an alias, in like our bash RC. And what I mean by that is, let's just have one simple key, right, that just runs that. So if I type the key letter P and enter, there's no command for P, right? There's no alias for P. So I'm going to go into the bash RC. So the bash RC is your shell settings, let's say, for bash if you're running the bash shell. Now I have done videos on bash, you can look at all that, you just look through my history. So let's look for where the aliases are, okay? Ooh. So got some aliases here. I'm just going to put an alias here, okay? That looks about a nice place. So I'm going to do alias, okay? So you need to put alias, and then we're going to use the letter P, okay? And then equals, and then we've got to put in two, what do you call it? It's quotations, but it's, you know, the one code. No, I can't think. Put it in the comments. I can't think. Too much going on. Okay, so again, we'll just do what we did. I can remember how to do it. Okay, so first of all, we want to have our name of our variable that we're going to create. So it's going to be called pick, and we want that to be a subshell. I think I'm doing this right. I can't even remember what I'm doing now. Was I doing that right? There's too much going on. Okay, don't know. Probably because I just started the quotations. Okay, pick. We want to put in that. I think this is right. I'm going mad. I'm looking at too much here, but it will work. Don't worry, I'll work it out. So pick, and we want to run apt list installed. Then we want to put that into the cut command. So we want to cut everything before this delimiter, first field, and we want to put that in FCF, okay, and then we want to run that command, so it will be quotation pick, because we created the variable. This is good shell safety. And we can also put in or, okay, so that's double pipe if you like, but it's the or part of the and. So if that isn't successful, so we put in something that isn't on the list, then we say, let's do printf, and we just need to put in some, let's do backslash. Is that backslash? Where's the backslash on the American keyboard? I don't know. Never find it. Okay, not to worry. We'll just put the not picked. Where's the backslash? I never find it in the American keyboard. Ah, there it is. Found it. So backslash n percent s for string, because we're putting in a string. Backslash n again. So give it a little bit. These are new line characters. Don't worry too much. Just go with me on this. And then we want to close that quotation. Then we want to put in our string. So this is, if this isn't successful, we're going to put no selection, let's say, no selection. And then we can close that quotation off. We've got our little single quotation there to close out the alias. I'm just going to put a space there, just give it a little bit more space. So I think I've done that right, because I put pick. Yeah, it's just weird sometimes. I should actually put quotations here, really. Doesn't really matter too much for this, but put quotations there as well. Hopefully this will work. Sure, you know, it's simple shell stuff. So obviously I want to save this, so I'm going to save. Hopefully this will work. Now I want to source the .bash rc because we've updated our file and we want to update our shell. So now let's just clear this. If I do p, there you go. It's loaded up our thing. So I do htop. There we go. It's loaded up htop. I can do p again, and I can do CMOS, the music player, loaded up. So who needs dmenu, right? You don't need dmenu at all. So much better. And this, you know, again, you're probably not going to be running dmenu in Ubuntu or something else. Now, if you were doing this in, say, Arch Linux or something with a different package manager, even like DNF in your, if you're using Fedora or something, all you need to do is just replace. All you need to do is just replace your package manager with the package manager name. So for example, if this was Pacman, I would put Pacman -qn and maybe m as well if you have got AUR packages, but qn, I think, just test it, see which one works, and it would do the same thing. Those are your installed packages. I don't know about DNF, look that up, but it's DNF, whatever, I don't know, list, whatever it is on that. But that's pretty much it. Okay, so this is for Ubuntu or Debian, let's say, apt list installed. There we go. And you can create all kinds of aliases, you can create all kinds of stuff. So this is like a nice little example of the power of FCF shell terminal. You don't need things like dmenu, okay? Just use that if you're using a standard desktop environment, or of course a window manager. I use this, it's great, it's simple. I don't necessarily see people do this too much. I've seen people use FCF for various things, for like installing packages maybe, I don't know. It just seems like a natural thing. P is the alias for program, it's a key you can use. So there you go. Hope you found that useful. So I'll leave it there, and you know what to do with the fake YouTube: like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much to our Patreons. That's Sean, that's Soul, and that is HDX80Nerd. I appreciate your support very much. The channel is nicely building. Me and Mrs. Champion are going to be making more videos on more distributions, on more stuff, more learning, more everything. I haven't abandoned, you know, some of the more quote-unquote technical stuff, and that's all going to merge together in time, but there's no rush. So there you go. Last couple of videos you would have seen me just do some more like shell terminal stuff, I would say. or well, I did a talk video in the last one, whatever. Anyway, so thank you guys very much, and I will see you in the next one.